buddy? My buddy? Oh, you're my buddy? Okay, guys. Oh, sorry, Tobes. This video is not easy. And it's taken me a better part of a week to, actually do it. I don't know why. I just kept putting it off and thinking of new things for it and stuff like that. But basically, those of you who've been on the handcuff.org forum, and I'm sure plenty of other people might have heard by now that John Bushey recently passed away. I really don't know what to say because he was such a giant in the collecting field. He was brilliant. He knew just about everything there is to know. He could, he was always willing to give his time or expertise to somebody just starting out or whatever. Most importantly, he was like a really great guy and a great friend. So, he was sick for a while and everything, which, made no secret of. And, he was just a fighter. And I guess it just, just the fight, it just was too much. So, I'm not really going to talk too much about handcuffs today. Just share some memories of him and show some of the work he's done. I have a couple of his books, stuff like that. What impressed me the most about him was he was kind of like a bloodhound on the scent, and it never gives up. When he was researching something about handcuffs, he literally left no stone unturned. I mean, I'll show you some stuff, in one of the books about the Mackenzie mitts, and the guy would research down to talking to. He would be able to find a neighbor that grew up next to the guy that invented a handcuff in 1870. You know what I mean? My great aunt used to live next door to. He would actually find this stuff, and that was pretty inspirational as someone who I'd love to put out a couple of books. And he just shows you how much hard work he was willing to do, and also how much that hard work paid off. If John says it ain't so, it ain't so. That was sort of the thing, you know what I mean? If you look at the bottom of the screen, there's the link to the handcuff video I did when he came up to the house a couple of years ago and brought some of his escape artist pitch books. The lighting was terrible in it. It was just that time of day or whatever, and I was scrambling to get a camera, Be sure to check that out, see why he was such a kind guy, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, I couldn't get to the funeral in where he lives. That was just this past Monday. But condolences to his family, really. I wanted to give you one quick little story. It was before one of the lock shows in Lancaster. It always happens in the summer, and usually the week before or the week after is the Antiques Extravaganza, which is just a few towns from here. And it's just a 15-20 minute drive from Lancaster, where they have the lock show. But I always love going to this thing. I mean, there are thousands of dealers spread out over 3 or 4 towns. People come from all over the world to set up and sell antiques at these extravaganzas. Literally thousands of dealers. And they have one in Kutztown for the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the one in Adamstown is, Saturday, Sunday. And then every single antique place along the strip has discounts and stuff. So anyway, that's the story. Okay, so this one year I was at one of the extravaganzas, and I saw a pair of leg irons I wanted, and I was like, I'm fighting with myself with the price of them because I thought they were a little high, you know what I mean? And I was like, I must have walked back and forth to that booth 30, 40 times looking at them damn leg irons. So I was like, you know what? Fine, I gotta call John. So I called John up, and I was like, dude, I need your opinion because, I have a pair of leg irons here at the extravaganza, and I can't remember what they were, but he was like, all right, well, describe them to me. So I did, and he's taking an interest. He's like, how much did I want? And I told him, and I forget what it was. It was something outrageous. It was $600 or something like that. And he goes, well, I'll tell you what, Eric, man, you can either buy them now and really enjoy them, or you can wait until the lock show where so and so is bringing the same pair and he'll let you have them for like 120, and then you can like be angry at yourself for the rest of your life. So, but in other words, like, he was one of those friends that even if you don't talk to him for a while, you can call him up out of the blue, or he'll call you up out of the blue, and it's like you just picked up the last conversation. Sometimes he would just call me up out of the blue and say, hey, I know you've been looking for this certain type of handcuff, and I got a lead on it. If you want it, I'll call the guy, and then we can work something out, so that way you'll have it, and then I'll make sure that both of you do get a fair price for it. You know what I mean? Like, he would just be thinking of something. Like, I might have mentioned that I was missing one of those cuffs in the collection like years earlier, and out of the blue he would call you up and say, yeah, I found something that you'd be interested in, or whatever. He would do, always helpful, always giving advice. You know what? There's like billions of stories about this guy, and I know like everyone who knew him has got enough, hours of stories. So I don't know. I just wanted to remember him, take a moment and show you a couple of things that I got from him and whatnot. Just a couple of items that I have in my collection now, thanks to him, and those are the ones that I'm never going to sell for anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain people that get attached to the provenance of a handcuff, and he's one of the ones that years from now will say this cuff was owned by John Bushey at such and such a time. So it's not going to be the same going to these collector shows at all. It's not. It's gonna there's gonna be a big chunk missing. Oh, anyway, I just apologize for the delay in getting stuff done, but it's just been rough. But okay, so anyway, so here's one of the books that John wrote, The Story of the Mackenzie Mitts, and he was kind enough to autograph for me. And this, if you get one of his books, you just see the unbelievable lengths he went to get as much information as possible. I mean, it's just incredible, the stuff. When he gave the talk at the Lancaster Lock Show, and it was, everybody just had a great time, and they learned, and like I said, this is just, look at this, he goes through everything. And here's one of his articles from the Handcuff Annual. This is the 2007. There's John with some of his pitch books. That's what this story was about, this article that he wrote. Just some of the phenomenal stuff he had, and he was so kind to share it. Like everything here he brought to my house and showed me, and it was just when are you going to get a chance to actually handle some things that are one of a kind? There's John. It's just, that's who he was. He enjoyed sharing information with people. Look at these pitch books, and he went through like the colors of the cover, a little bit of everything, the dates when applicable, and all these are from his. He actually handled all this stuff. This was in his collection, so he knew what he was talking about. And it just goes on and on, And if you look at any handcuff book or anything that has to do with handcuffs, collecting world, that's just one of the things. If you look at any of his interests, that's how he approached everything. He wrote and researched as much as humanly possible, and he was just so happy to share his knowledge with people. Not many people share all their knowledge with others just the way he did. So this is the Houdini lock that I bought from John, and he printed up this really neat certificate of authenticity. And it's all signed by Henry Mueller and Sid Radner. And he also gave me this neat letter explaining how he came into possession of the padlock
and you know how they sign the certificates right in front of them, which is really awesome. I have a neat letter from John, and the picture Houdini put in there, and the original certificate. And this is the Houdini lock. Okay, and this is the only thing I have so far that I can actually say without a shadow of a doubt belong to Houdini, and I have John to thank for it. So, you know, it's really special to me.
Oh, another thing that I just thought of, a lot of you guys know that John was also a magician, and I remember like there was this one card move that he was showing me at a lock convention. It was like, I don't know, 3 in the morning or something like that. And no matter how beat we both were, like he could have just been like, "Can I just show you this tomorrow?" But he went over and over it until I got it. It was just amazing. I mean, he didn't have to do that. I think that was our first meeting too. Yeah, that was in Indianapolis. So, here's me meeting somebody for the first time, and he's obviously tired and wants to go to sleep. Because we were just gonna get up next morning early and go back in the handcuff room or whatever. He took like all the time necessary to just teach me this one little move, and it was pretty cool. And I'm glad that I was able to exchange information with him too over the years. I'm almost done editing the next handcuff video about nippers, so look for that in the coming week. Okay, and once again, John, dude, we really miss you. So, all right, thanks a lot, guys.